Beneath the sidewalks of Paris, under the cafes, the traffic, the museums, and the quiet apartments, there is another city. It has no streetlights, no sky, and no official address. Most people who live above it never think about it. Many don't even know it exists. But it stretches for hundreds of kilometers in darkness, older than the Paris we recognize, older than the boulevards and monuments, older even than the idea of France itself. This hidden world began as stone. Nearly 2,000 years ago, the Romans carved limestone from beneath what would become Paris. That stone built the city above, its churches, its homes, its walls. As centuries passed, the quarries grew into a sprawling labyrinth of chambers and tunnels, silently expanding in the dark while Paris grew brighter overhead. The miners left markings on the walls, dates, arrows, names. When they were finished, they simply left. The empty spaces remained. By the 18th century, Paris had a different problem. Its cemeteries were overflowing. Bodies were buried on top of bodies for generations. In wet weather, the ground would swell and split. The smell of decay drifted through streets. In 1780, the wall of a cellar near the Cemetery of the Innocents collapsed, and a wave of decomposing corpses spilled into the basement of a nearby home. It was the final warning. The solution was as strange as it was practical. At night, for years, workers quietly exhumed millions of remains from Paris's cemeteries and carried them into the abandoned quarries. Bones were dumped into the tunnels in vast, unceremonious heaps. Later, an inspector named Héricart de Thury decided the piles should be arranged. Skulls were stacked into careful walls, femurs were aligned into patterns, columns of bone were built like macabre architecture. What visitors see today in the official catacombs, the orderly displays, the symmetry, the eerie beauty, was a deliberate design choice. But that public section is only a fraction of what lies below. The tour route covers less than 2 kilometers. The full network is more than 300. Beyond the lit pathways are sealed gates, rusted doors, and passages that vanish into darkness. There are chambers where bones were never arranged, where they lie in chaotic hills as they were first dumped. There are old inscriptions from workers in the 1700s, candles melted into stone, and wells that drop into black water no one has properly measured. Some tunnels are blocked because too many people got lost and never found their way out. Over time, the underground took on new lives. During wars, it served as shelter and passage. Smugglers used it. The French resistance moved through it in World War II, and in modern days, a quiet subculture has adopted it as their domain. They call themselves cataphiles. They enter through hidden manholes, forgotten basements, disused metro access points. They navigate for hours in complete darkness, guided by memory and hand-drawn maps more detailed than anything the city has published. They hold secret dinners by candlelight in stone chambers. They stage concerts where music echoes through the tunnels. They create art on the walls. They clean and repair parts of the network as if they are caretakers of a forgotten monument. To them, the tunnels are sacred. Damage the bones, litter, or vandalize, and you are banned from their circles. To the authorities, they are trespassers. To themselves, they are guardians of a parallel Paris. In 2004, this hidden world briefly surfaced. Police exploring restricted sections of the tunnels stumbled upon something unexpected: a fully built underground cinema. There was a projection screen, electrical wiring, a restaurant setup, and film reels. Someone had run power lines deep into the catacombs. It was not amateur work. It was carefully constructed, almost comfortable. When officers returned days later with reinforcements, everything was gone. The screen, the equipment, the cables vanished. In their place was a note: "Do not try to find us." The group believed to be responsible is known as UX, Urban Experiment, an anonymous collective linked to other secret restoration projects in Paris. They once repaired a broken clock inside the Pantheon without permission. They are rumored to move through the tunnels with ease, appearing and disappearing without leaving traces. Meanwhile, above ground, life in Paris continues as usual. Tourists line up to see the curated catacombs, unaware that just beyond the barriers lies a vast, unregulated maze. Streets overhead mirror passages below. Entire neighborhoods have shadows beneath them, shaped by history and silence. The city does not advertise this. It does not map it publicly. It prefers the underground to remain a rumor, a curiosity, a controlled attraction. But the truth is more unsettling and more fascinating. Under Paris is a second Paris, older, darker, and still very much alive.